first meeting of the Maine Township Board. May I please get everyone stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll start on our agenda here. May I have a motion? Well, first of all, roll call, please.
I got one more. Assessor Craig.
Here.
Highway Commissioner McVeigh. Here. Clerk Giovanni here. Supervisor Diamond.
Here.
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Horvath.
Here.
Trustee Maher.
Here.
And Trustee Malik.
Yeah, here. Thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 22nd, 2003?
Motion to approve the minutes of August 22nd, 2023 board meeting. Second.
Are there any questions or comments? May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes?
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Abstain.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Abstain. All right, thank you. Let's move on to the next item. May I have a motion to approve the general assistance expenditures?
I'll make a motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 1st, 2023, September 15th, 2023, and September 29th, 2023, and general assistance checks number 55048 through check number 55094 in the amount of $42,124.13.
Second.
Any questions or comments regarding this motion? All right, roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes?
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes. Okay, may I have a motion to approve the road district expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 1st, 2023 and September 15th, 2023, and road district checks 23053 through check number 23102 in the amount of $143,157.83.
Second. Okay, any questions or comments regarding this motion? Make a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes?
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes. All right, make a motion to approve the general town fund expenditures. Is there a motion to approve the general town fund expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 1st, 2023 and September 15th, 2023, and general town fund check 60468 through check 60552 in the amount of $359,803.23.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments on that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Professor?
Yeah, I have a question about check number 60501 and check 60502.
Which of those, what pages those are on?
Page 3, check 60501 and check 60502.
I'm sorry, would you say that again? 60501, 6050. Okay. All right, yes.
What is this about the check settlement?
501 and 502. This is about rentals for the International Festival.
And who is doing it, this international festival?
The township is.
I am not aware of this one because none of the board members, I guess, was invited for any planning meeting for this program. And if this was the Maine Township program, board should be aware of this and they should include in this planning for this event. And I think we are all almost like 5th member of the board here, but I don't think so anybody was involved in the planning. And if anybody was there, maybe I'm wrong, and they can say, but if we are a Maine Township this program and we are spending taxpayer money, so board should be involved in that and we should know where we're spending this money. Because we are answerable to taxpayers.
But we'll say this has been on our agenda for the past 4 months. It's an upcoming date, upcoming event that's coming up. And I mention this every time, and anyone who wanted to volunteer with the planning is welcome to do so. And in fact, we're still doing some relatively minor planning, and we're meeting tomorrow afternoon. If you would like to come for that meeting, you're welcome to do so. It's at 2 tomorrow afternoon. So
And we do respect the supervisor. We know it was on the agenda, but none of the person was invited for the meeting. If you send me an email and you say, oh, we're going to have this meeting, if I was not there, you can give me the proof that you sent me the meeting. But none of the board member was involved in the planning for this festival. And my opinion, this is not about Maine Township program, this may be your personal program.
well,
Thank you.
anyone who wanted to be involved was certainly welcome to be involved, but I did not receive any indication from any board members that they actually wanted to come to the planning meetings.
Again, I say with due respect, supervisor, not anyone. This was your responsibility, because if you are doing a program, you should involve the board. Not anybody come volunteer. If this is the Maine Township program, you can involve the board and say, hey, this is a suggestion. We're going to do this program, and give us a suggestion. Maybe we can give you more suggestion and we can do much better. What I heard is going to be on November 30th. Thank you, that was my comment about
I
this.
have a question. Did that fest take place, Karen, or is it something that's coming up?
Saturday.
It's this coming Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying we weren't wearing it. I don't really remember that. I'm sure it was discussed at one point.
It's, yeah, we've discussed it for several months. I mean, first we discussed it when we first brought it up.
When was that? What meeting was that when it was first brought up?
I don't know, several months ago, probably in May.
All right. So it's money we're advancing for this international fest that's upcoming this Saturday. This coming Saturday.
This Saturday, right?
Okay.
I hope you all can make it. I have asked Laura Murphy, she's able to be there. I don't know if she's going to, but I asked her to tell me what time she was. In which case, I'll tell you what that time is. But in any event, you're welcome to come at any time, and I would love to be able to introduce you. So I was going to mention that a little bit more towards the end of the agenda, but now's as good a time as any to bring that up. So please let me know if you're going to stop by so that I can introduce you.
I'm seeing it's on the calendar. Trying to keep abreast of these calendar events.
Well, I
missed
know
it.
there's quite a few, and that's why I have a second page here.
Well, that's a
So I
good
know
point.
there's quite a few things
Yeah.
going on.
Thank you, we had a list earlier, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. We had a list of events, I didn't think that was on there, but it wasn't listed. Okay. Okay, because you did have a nice list of one of the meetings recently, where all the events were there. Okay.
I have a second page of your agenda. Okay, all right, are there any other comments or questions regarding the motion to approve the general town fund expenditures? Okay, may I have a roll call?
Supervisor Benton?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Abstain.
Okay, all right, fine. Now we have a section on our agenda for public participation. I have a sheet here for people who have signed in, but did anyone sign up for public participation? No?
Because they only got signatures on it.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
No, that is the only one with signatures.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go to old business. All right, first thing on old business is something we've discussed on and off, and it's the facility lease agreement. Trustee Maher and I have gone back and forth regarding this several times, just sort of tweaking the language. And the last time we sent it back and forth, I think we both think it's in good shape, and then we sent it out to everyone in the board to take a look at it. I believe you got that before. So once again, it's on our agenda to discuss anymore if we wish to, and possibly vote on this, adopting this facility lease agreement. So do I have a motion to adopt this facility event space license agreement for private event purposes?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Are there any questions or comments regarding this? Okay, roll call?
Supervisor Benton?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Abstain.
Okay, the next item we have up is discussion and possible vote on employee tuition reimbursement. Now, this was on our agenda last month, but, I don't think there's any objections to it, but we decided to put it over to this month to see if some of the trustees who were not here at the last meeting had any questions or comments about it. So, it's here again on our agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the employee tuition reimbursement program?
I will make a motion to approve the tuition reimbursement.
Second.
Okay, all right. Are there any questions about it, or comments about it, or concerns about this policy? I look to our other board members too, as or other elected officials, as your employees, of course, will be affected by this policy too.
Right through it, it's great.
All right, hearing no further comments than we did last time, I'll ask for a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
All right, let's move on to our next item, which is discussion, no vote, but discussion of the levy ordinance adoption. As I mentioned at our last meeting, we've got to get this rolling because we need to adopt our final version of the levy at our November meeting, which means that we need to adopt the tentative one in October, which means tonight we should decide what we want it to be so that we can tell administration to prepare the levy with what, if any, increase we want to make on the levy. So last month we I passed out some information regarding our current financial standing, and I hope you've all had a chance to look at that and maybe formulate some opinions about where we should go with this. And so I'd like to know, would anyone like to start off with their opinion as to what our financial condition is now, or what you think we ought to do in terms of the levy? And that would be the levy for the town fund and for the general assistance fund. First of all, just because it's own fund. Anyone want to make any comments regarding what they think we ought to do?
My first inclination would just
Okay. Okay.
discussion.
All right. Mike, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I guess I was thinking the same thing, but I would be curious to hear something big that we need to come for.
My question is, what materials were given out previously? I know they were regarding this issue that should be looking at.
It was a list of our prior, and this was at our last meeting.
I don't know if they had that.
It was our last tax levy ordinance.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Administrator. Very good.
I'm going to accept 5 copies.
Okay.
Here, I'll
All right. Is that the last one?
That's, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any more, Dana?
Here's one. You
No,
can take this
thank
one.
you.
I got this one right here. And this I guess actually. I mean, that came out too last time too.
We get restated, Karen, on why this is, what this is exactly. I know you did it before. You do it again.
Right, so, we have to determine what our levy is going to be, what we need to cover expenses for the coming year.
Okay, thanks.
And what, levy we need to impose for the town fund and the general assistance fund. And we can keep it the same, you could theoretically lower it, you could raise it to 4.9%. If you wanted to raise it any more than that, we could have a hearing. So those are sort of our alternatives. And if you wanted to raise it, we could raise it somewhere between 0 and 4.9% too. So that's an opportunity too. And so some of the things I was thinking about, is, what expenses might we have coming up this year? One thing I'm concerned about is the roof, which Mike Salmon has talked about, and which I think might be a big expense. Another, of course, every year and we give raises to our employees, too. That's, of course, another expense. One thing that I hope to talk about later on our agenda is possibly providing limited bus service in the township. And I just sent you some general information about that. And that, of course, would, expensive in the sense that we'd have to rent or buy a bus and then pay a driver to drive that bus. So that's another additional possible expense. One thing that we always keep in mind is we want to make sure that we don't violate the statutory provision which provides that we can't accumulate funds that are more than 2.5 times our average expenses for the past 3 years. Did I say that right? Okay. So I figured that out, and I think 2.5 times our average expenses would be about $10,000. So we're really nowhere near at this point in time having $10,000. I mean, not $10,000, $10 million.
I was going to say 10,000. We are in trouble.
I know, we're in big trouble. No, $10 million.
My 2 cents would be to,
We did not get. Oh, good. Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry.
So yeah, $10 million. We do not have anywhere near $10 million right now in our accumulated funds. That I'm not concerned about. I was just sort of looking at the balances that the township had in the past 8 years in its accounts. And it varied anywhere from a little over $3,000, some years like I keep saying that, I'm so sorry. $3 million. At some point it was near about $6 million. Back in 2020 and 2019, it was $7.5 million. 2018 and 2017, it was about $5 million. So it's varied between that range, between roughly $3.4 million to up to, at its highest during the past 8 years, of about $7.5 million. So that's where we are right now. We're certainly not at the highest point the township has been in terms of total savings. We're not at the lowest point either. These are all things that I'm sort of thinking about in terms of whether or not we should increase the levy. Also, based on our discussion last month, we might have some expenses for security concerns too. And I don't know what exactly we might do it for. That's something we'll need to discuss. But whatever it is, it will cost some amount of money, I imagine. But I don't know exactly what.
Also, if we're doing tuition reimbursement too, that's another expense.
That would be another expense. I don't know how many employees that would actually affect. And it's not a huge amount, but yeah, it would be somewhat of an expense. That's true, too. I'm really torn. I really am torn because part of me thinks that we can just keep it level. Part of me thinks, we'll be cutting it too close if we do that. So I really do want to hear your opinions too, Joe.
my 2 cents would be, ever since I've been a trustee, the financials have been good. Every time we ask for an audit, it comes back well. Our savings are good. We don't spend money that we don't have. We're conservative. We have been conservative for many years. So I think we should be generous with ourselves and consider, a modest increase to account for the potential expenses we have. I think that's reckless at all. I think that's, in the past, it's like all the paperwork I've seen, we've been very conservative fiscally for many, many years. And, I shouldn't be, give money, a lot of money if we have necessary expenses that we may need, which we've all discussed we may need. So that would be my 2 cents on it.
Okay.
To increase it.
If we ask for 4.9%, that doesn't guarantee we get that, right?
Well, we'll get a little less than that.
Well, it's gonna cost,
2 to 3%.
but I think as far as P-TEL, I don't know off the top of my head, but
Oh, yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sure it's gonna be, P-TEL will be an impact here.
Yeah, even though you asked for the 4.9, and that is without going into a special meeting, because if you ask over the 4.9, you have to have a public meeting. But with my office, I've done a lot of certificate of errors, so that money will come off of our money at the end. And then PTAB, we've had series of P-TABs that have been run, and they have to tell us if they're going over assessed value of $100,000. So that'll come off of our gain on whatever that we get at the end. But we also have to capture new construction that's been going on. So we've actually gotten a lot of new PIN numbers, and we're going to have to capture this, and it will equal, I mean, it'll spread out throughout Maine Township for all the other districts that are asking for money. So I would say do the 4.9.
We won't
In my
get,
opinion.
PTEL won't cap back the new growth that would be captured. PTEL won't cap us back on that. And then, again, I think since generally PTEL caps us to the CPI at 5%, so in most years we're capped at whatever that CPI was much lower. Obviously, that's been very different the past few years.
Yeah, those are good.
We won't get capped back because of PTEL.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
It would just be the loss of cost that the
Right.
assessor.
exactly.
Okay. Pete, did you want to say anything, or give you a chance to?
No, I mean, I kind of agree with everything that has been said. I mean, I think for the most part, we've, tried to build back our reserve a little bit very responsibly. We don't spend the money we don't have. And, a little bit of an increase is needed to cover potential big expenses coming up. And, I certainly understand the need for it. I mean, I was on that side of the table for many years and was always leery about having to do it, but, I felt historically we've always been very cautious with the taxpayers' money.
Okay, Austin, did you want to comment? Did you want to comment? Do you have a preference?
I'm looking at that, so if I have a more detail, about this, all of the, expenditure, missing personnel, so with the 4.9, you're talking about the whole budget, which one we have a 5.2 million?
I'm sorry, 4.9, what did you say?
It's a 4.9% is up, this 5.2 million. Is going to
Is that the
be-
total at the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. Well, another thing we could do is we could raise the levy for the general fund, but not for general assistance. So, I mean, you don't have, they're not married together. You could do one and not the other. So that's a possibility. Our general assistance, I think, is doing fairly well, just because we don't have a lot of general assistance clients right now.
Yeah,
Basically defunded it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, general assistance, we have a half a million. Are you talking about 4.9% or half a million? In the general assistance, we have a total budget is 5 or 3. Yeah, half a million, I guess. If you look at the general assistance.
We didn't ask for 5.3, we put enough.
No, I said 500.
500,000.
500, 3,000, I just say half a million, just round up.
So we're not actually going to take a formal vote today.
Right.
This is just to direct, to sort of get an informal consensus as to what we want to do.
Well, we have to get moving on it, you mentioned
Right,
before.
so we do
November
need
meeting.
to, an informal consensus tonight as to what we want to do,
Okay.
so that we can actually vote on it at the
For-
next meeting.
At October meeting.
October.
Estimate, yeah.
Yes,
So
right,
we're gonna vote at the October meeting. Thank you.
right.
Yeah, what's the
That's
date? Do you know the date, Eva, that we have to get that in? We,
Said December.
Yeah, it's,
I think it's after our board meeting.
in October? December.
No, it's the last Sunday of December.
So it's
The last
last Tuesday in December. We have to get.
No, actually, for to move it to 28, it's gonna be Thursday.
right, so
That's-
a while ago,
So
we
it's
moved our
less.
December meeting, we decided to move it to Thursday, so it was clear of the holidays. So that's definitely after the date we have to file our levies.
That's even later than.
You're gonna file it for a special meeting, or you're gonna file it
We
for
could.
You can do it if you want.
I mean,
We'll get it done.
I think the 4.9% is reasonable.
All right, Kelly, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, last year, we sort of were, in a little bit of a dire straits to some extent, thinking, and will the 4.9 sort of help us kind of stay on that trajectory? Like if we don't, like if we kept it flat, would that help us at all, or
To
do
keep
we
it
still?
flat?
Well, like if we kept it flat, like the way that we were going, we needed to do that look back.
We did that the first time.
Right, we did that in order to kind of
Right.
help build it up.
Goes back to,
so-
I think, like the 2018 level.
Right, so we still, maybe are not where we should be.
Well, certainly our bank balances aren't where they were several years ago.
Right, so by doing 4.9, that'll sort of help
Yeah, I think it'll get us up a
give us a
little.
little more cushion.
And like I said, tell Kelly too, when we have these E-tab,
Right,
and when we have the CFEs that are going back a couple of years, we don't get that gain of money, we lose it, it comes off.
right.
So,
I don't know, I think I would be fine with 4.9.
Jim? You agree, is that agreeable to you, the 4.9?
I suppose, I mean, if you're asking me for that right now, I think Asif's question relates more to how it's going to be allocated rather than, the smallest increase is 4.9 is what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'd be in favor, yes.
All right.
Yes, I think we should be generous
And
with
there's a question that if you think, we should increase one, but not the other fund, that's always a possibility too.
Well, that was an issue Asif just brought up.
Mhm.
As you mentioned, we're doing well with general assistance, which is only one aspect of our budget.
Right. It's the smaller aspect.
Yeah, and the general town fund is one that we want to be generous with these improvements that we think we're going to need.
Like we might need, yes.
Oh.
That's it?
I'm going to take we need it, and we have to, in the favor of 4.9, but I cannot say right now, I agree. I want to see when I have the whole budget in front of me, then we can look at it.
Well, is there anything else that you need?
Not at this point.
Okay, all right.
How about Eddie, what's Eddie's version of this? What's your input, Eddie? Do you have input on that?
No, as I kind of stated,
Separate,
I think it's very reasonable. I do agree that, getting a little more into the reserves is not a bad thing, seeing as that we do, like the study and we projected, there's going to be some big outlays of expenditures for the repairs and other things that need to be done around the township, so building up that.
what we ask in the levy is not necessarily.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can ask 4.9, that means we're gonna get nowhere near it, more than
Right.
likely, so you gotta ask for that to get what you're really projecting you're gonna need.
Sorry, Pete, what were your thoughts on that? That's what I'm But you were already giving your thoughts on that earlier.
Capture the.
I had been asleep.
Construction, so, evens out. But we're not, this is just discussion. We're not-
It is,
Right.
This is all
Right,
Oh,
right, sorry.
kind of a gauge.
And Ms. Gray to his successor.
Do you have a question?
Well, I just want to add, just, if you want to kind of just know what would be on paper, again, not that we can get everything, but a 4.9 increase would look for town fund and GA about $259,000.
259,000.
Exactly, it's a rough estimate, for a quick calculation.
Of how much extra money we're talking about.
That's right.
How much extra money we're talking about.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
4.9%, not $4.9 million.
Right.
Yeah,
Big difference between those two.
Right.
Now we know where it's at.
Just a quick calculation, 4.9 on town fund and GA together would be about $259,000 increase over the 5.2 million.
We probably wouldn't get that.
Correct, we would get that, but that's what it would look like, on our.
If we're together.
All right, so I think we're done with that discussion unless anyone wants to say anything else. And again, we don't actually have to vote. This is just for discussion. Okay, all right, so we'll move on to new business and introducing our new employees. Would you guys, you just step in? I'm sorry, thank you. Okay.
Moving future meeting dates.
Oh, okay, skip right over that, sorry. All right, the next thing, the last thing in the whole business is discussion and possible vote on moving future meeting dates. So last time we talked about moving the meeting to the last Tuesday of every month as opposed to the fourth Tuesday, because several times a year, the fourth Tuesday ends up being fairly early in the month, and the staff has trouble preparing the bills and getting them out on a timely basis. So we talked about doing that as of the first of the year, 2024, going forward from that point in time. So hopefully we have not booked in things in your calendar for 2024 yet, and we can make that change. Does anyone see any problem with making a change from the fourth Tuesday to the last Tuesday of the month? All right, so could I have a motion to move our future meeting dates to the last Tuesday of each month?
So moved.
Second.
Anything else on that? Okay, roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
And can I just make a note to Eva, our clerk, that notice will have to be posted of the new dates that amends our calendar of dates. Or, let's see, maybe we did it for the calendar. Did we do it for the calendar year or for the, when we posted the dates? I think it was
Calendar year.
not our fiscal year.
No, I believe it's calendar.
When the change is gonna,
All right,
We'll just adopt a new schedule.
when we're gonna change the, so does it
January
start
1st. January
January
1st.
1st?
So I guess we don't really have to repost. I think we'll just post that date when,
We adopt our new schedule at the end of this next year,
Okay.
December, November, whatever we adopt for next year.
okay.
We can always move it.
So I guess we don't really have to do anything yet.
Not yet.
All right.
If we've already got the
One in
calendar
January
stopped,
actually is the fourth, so we have one more in January.
What?
In January?
Oh, no, this would be as of January 1st.
Yes, January 1st. So the one in January has to be noticed in the newspaper, not moving.
I don't think we need to put a notice in this.
I guess it depends on if our annual schedule follows the calendar year or if it follows our fiscal year. If we're changing a date that we've already adopted, then we'll have to publish notice. If we're just going to be adopting our new schedule for the next calendar year, we'll do that at the end of the year anyways, we don't need to publish it.
But we have already scheduled the January meeting.
What?
The January meeting is already scheduled for the fourth. And the fourth is gonna be on the 23rd. And then another Tuesday is on the 30th. January 5. So this is my question. Are we gonna change it January 1st or the fiscal year? Like,
The March, you're talking about March?
yeah.
I should say January.
Calendar year, you're saying.
The calendar or the fiscal? Because in January, what I'm saying, there are like 5 Tuesdays.
Yeah, right. No, I think the question here is, the last time we adopted our board meeting schedule, did we adopt it for the calendar year or the fiscal? For the fiscal year?
Yes.
All right, okay, if that's what we did, then we do need to
Fiscal.
post a change to our calendar, since it will change the fiscal year calendar meeting dates.
So doesn't the first of the month often fall on, right? The first of the month falls on Monday or Tuesday, pretty much.
Sometimes four, sometimes 5.
Sometimes, okay. So that's why the last Tuesday of the month might be the first day, and then the following month.
It's like 5.
Yes. Very good. It's a good point. It's a calendar. Each month was one. Very good. Should work out the last Tuesday of the month. There might be a couple of conflicts.
All right, so you will repost that, you'll post the change. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Now we're going to do business. So we're pleased to introduce some new employees. First, Mr. Eli Kusek, you want to step up here just for a minute? Mr. Eli Kusek is taking Ron's position as the night monitor up here at the front desk. Would you ask Ron to step in here? Sure. Yeah, just ask him to step in. So Eli is going to take over that position starting, I think, tomorrow. Is that right? Or something this week. What's that? Thursday. Thursday. Okay. Well, we wish you best of luck. Hopefully there won't be any, any problems you'll have to deal with out of the ordinary. And we're glad you can join our staff. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Elio. It's E-I-L-A-O, right?
Right.
What's that right? Or A-O? Am I saying? Elio. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. Nice to meet you.
All right, thanks. And I did want to just take a minute to thank Ron. Ron has been a familiar face at the front desk for like 4 years. had for many years, another position, and his hours are changing, so he's not able to work for us anymore. We'll miss you very much. But I know-
Friendly face.
Always a smile.
Yes,
Yeah.
always a smile.
So,
Yes.
again, best of luck to you. We're sorry we won't see you around, but I noticed you've been training Elia, so thanks for that. And, again, we'll miss you, but best of luck.
Maybe we can lure you back, Ron.
Definitely.
Sign, find his agent.
Yes, Jenny. I told her. Okay, all right. So I just wanted to know if the board would, in a minute, like to take a break for some cookies and coffee. We'll just toast around with some coffee. But we're not done yet with the announcements of new additions to our staff. Another new addition is Steve Amari. Now, unfortunately, Steve couldn't be here tonight, but I think many of you have met him before. He has worked as a volunteer for the food pantry for about a year, putting in a lot of hours. And as you may recall, we used to have a part-time food pantry assistant, that was Nick, before Nick became the full-time food pantry director. And Steve is stepping in at a time when we think we'll need some more assistance. I mean, he already has been working for us as a volunteer. But we are now moving forward with the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Finally, I'm very, very happy about this. Nick and Steve and I all went down to their offices for training last week or the week before.
2 weeks ago.
Okay. And we have to undergo even more training to make sure we know how to use their databases and everything. And they insist that we have a couple of people whenever they make a delivery to our offices. So we want to make sure we have 2 staff members on. We also need help in some of the other deliveries that we're getting and moving around what we think is going to be a much greater amount of food that we're going to be able to provide to our patrons to the food pantry. The Greater Chicago Food Depository does not charge us anything for the food. We simply order what we want and they give it to us for free, as of now. Sometimes in the past they've charged for it. So anyway, Steve is a good addition. He's demonstrated many times that he is not adverse to lifting heavy boxes and moving a lot of heavy produce around and helping out the food pantry. Plus, he has a work history that sort of fits in with what he'll be doing. He worked at Oakland community colleges, reviewing, inspecting, distributing supplies and equipment, ordering central stockroom supplies, and maintaining inventory and so forth. So it sort of fits in with what he's done in the past, too. So anyway, when you see Steve next, please just give him our congratulations.
Nick,
And
was
welcome him.
he the gentleman at the desk signing people in? Was that Steve?
Boston meat, yeah.
He's kind of
Boston accent, yeah.
Chef at the garage sale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she had the chef product.
Chef Steve. Yeah.
Right.
Chef Steve?
Right. All right, and then finally, I want to welcome Marcia Carey. Now, Marcia Carey, if Marcia wants to stand up, she is not actually an employee. She's going to be an independent contractor, and she's going to be working for us about 10 hours a week, looking for grants, finding if we're eligible for grants, applying for those grants if we are, and if we're lucky enough to get any of those grants, monitoring them and filling out any follow-up paperwork that needs to be done. So, Marcia, we want to welcome you too. For us, if you can. And that is it for now. So maybe we can just take, if you want to take a few minutes break to just, say hello and goodbye to Ron and welcome our new employees. So we'll just take is that okay? Sure. Okay, so just like 5 minutes, okay? All right, we are reassembled now. And moving on to the next item on our agenda, and that is the discussion and vote on closed meeting notes. Now, as you may recall, we've had a couple of closed meetings over the past couple of months. And what we need to do is actually enter a resolution as to which ones are going to be approved for content, which ones should be approved for release, and which ones are to be retained. And so this resolution, which you have in front of you now, sets forth which ones will fall into each category. So do I have a motion to vote on the resolution approving and making a determination on executive session meeting minutes?
So, second.
All right. Are there any questions or comments about this resolution? It's sort of like the ones we've done in the past.
Where's the meat and potatoes of it? It's to be resolved that we're going to determine the following set dates, is that right?
You done, trustee Meyer?
Not really, but I was not. I was asking for a brief summary of what this is, your resolution approving and making a determination.
Clerk can do that.
Certainly. So the Open Meetings Act requires us to review all of our closed session minutes every 6 months. So those that we have not released to the public, every 6 months we'll have to review and determine if they still need to remain confidential or if they can be released to the public. So this is making a determination on one set just to approve them for content only. And then making a determination that those in section 2, that 5 sets of minutes there, those can be released so they'll be open to the public, so you won't have to act on those minutes again in 6 months.
Okay.
And then in section 3, those are the minutes that we're keeping confidential. 6 months from now, we'll look at those minutes again. We keep them confidential every 6 months. We'll keep looking at them.
Okay, thanks, Kurt. We discussed that briefly previously. Gotcha. All right, thanks. All right, thank you.
Okay.
No other questions.
Okay.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Meyer?
Yes.
Okay. Next on our item on our agenda is discussion and possible vote on auctioning an OEM vehicle. Let's see, is Eddie here? Edgar, I'm going to ask you to step up to the podium while we're waiting. Well, I don't really present. So I understand that the bread truck doesn't work anymore, that it will not start. Is that right? The bread truck that we used to use for parades in the past,
Correct.
and you've tried to start it up and it just will not start. Is that
Correct.
right?
In doing a cost-benefit analysis, we're putting way too much money in each year to keep it up and running. It's a 1981, if I'm correct, and yeah, there's been a lot of work done at Damiano's, and we had Damiano's do an assessment as well, and they believe that it would most likely be nice to auction it off and no longer keep it because we got an estimate for some of the things that need to be done to it, and it's exceeding what it's worth.
900 cars for kids.
Yeah, Nader and I mentioned it would make a great food truck for someone if they had the time and energy to basically reconstruct the entire engine.
How many miles?
I don't know exactly. Do you know how many miles?
I believe it's 45,000.
Yeah, 45,000.
I know some are really interested, probably. Construction guy moves material a lot.
So Nader and I right now are stripping the radios and everything that's worth money because there's some very nice equipment in it. So we've been taking that apart and we'll be stripping the details soon as well.
Okay, all right. So as you may recall, we've auctioned off 2 other vehicles in the past, and this would be the same type of thing. Hopefully we'll be able to get some money for it. That's what we're going to try to do. So we have a motion to, okay.
Are we planning to replace it with anything else?
Right now, I feel that the light truck would be sufficient as a means of a vehicle to use. It's loaded with tons of equipment, has an awesome diesel generator that works perfectly. But I think that would be probably the future of what OEM is, that is a sufficient vehicle to use. And maintenance and effort should be invested in that.
Okay, all right. We have a motion to vote on auctioning off the OEM vehicle.
Motion to vote on auctioning off the OEM vehicle per Eddie's recommendation.
So make sure that's a motion to approve, just to make it clear.
Motion.
Second motion, yeah. Auctioning of the vehicle.
Second.
All right, any more questions or comments on this pending resolution? Okay, roll call?
Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Potter?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to our next item. Okay, discussion and possible vote on resolution pledging to join Cook County to Unite Against Hate. Now, this is a resolution which was recommended to us by other villages nearby, in townships, signing on to this. Cook County has asked us if we would sign on too, and I sent you all an email about this, asking if you wanted that was on the agenda, and the consensus I see to get was yes, so we have it on our agenda now, and I'd like to know if I can have a motion to pledge to join Cook County to Unite Against Hate.
Motion to approve the resolution pledging to join Cook County to Unite Against Hate.
Second.
Okay, any discussion or comments? Okay, favor roll call.
Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Potter?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, now we have discussion on providing limited bus service in the township. So, as you know, some of the other townships provide bus service. And the type of buses they provide, it depends. Some have their own buses, they buy their own buses. Some rent from Pace. Pace has a couple of different types of buses that you can rent from them. They're all handicap accessible. At this point in time, I'm not sure if both types of buses are actually available. Right? We would have to check and see what they have. They rent them out for a low price, $100 a month, but you do have to provide your own driver and do your own maintenance and so forth. Richard and Jenny have independently done a survey of the buses that have, of some of the surrounding townships. And Elk Grove has 3 buses, and my notes are right here.
I see there's on the road a lot.
You do you? Okay. Wheeling has 6 to 7 buses. Palatine has 4 township buses that they own and 2 Pace buses. Lyons has 2 buses. Hanover has 10 buses. So quite a few of the other suburban townships have buses. And the type of service that they provide is usually limited to seniors or disabled individuals. I don't think they're all limited, but many of them are like that. And some townships just provide it for medical appointments, or but some others allow seniors to use it for grocery shopping or just whatever they need it for. So it varies a lot from township to township. And the price that people pay varies from nothing to like $5 a person. So I have gotten requests or suggestions from residents saying, why doesn't Maine Township have it? All these other townships have it too. Is that something that Maine Township could provide? So I don't know, does anybody else know anything else about the buses or want to contribute anything?
Does Fish take our residents to,
I was going to ask that same question.
Yeah, I don't know.
and that's like, are we funding it anymore, the program?
Richard,
They're not on our schedule this year, right?
Is Fish on your schedule?
They didn't apply last year for funding now, but they did apply this year.
We don't have drivers?
No, it's volunteer drivers, but it's only for medical appointments. It's strictly medical appointments, nothing else.
and drivers are using their own cars, right?
They're using their own vehicles,
So they're not
yes.
exactly handicap accessible.
No, I thought we gave them like cards for gas and, is that not true?
Yeah, we were subsidizing the gas for the
Yeah, yes, subsidizing for gas.
Were we?
Stipend,
Okay,
yeah.
we don't give give them anything ourselves, but the Fish organization does provide gas cards for drivers who drive a certain number of miles per month.
I didn't understand you, Rich. They did not apply last year? and
Fish
they
did
are
not apply
applying
for
this-
funding last year,
Did
no.
not.
Are they applying this year?
They did submit an application this year, correct?
Okay.
I was sort of under the impression that the number of volunteers they had was dwindling.
It has been, there's about 17 volunteers currently that they have, but it does vary.
And that's set by appointment too, Rich, is that correct?
That's by appointment only, yes. Yeah, but it doesn't provide transportation to anything else other than medical appointments. So if someone wanted to go to a grocery store, get their hair done, visit somebody, it's strictly medical appointments.
And it depends if a volunteer is available and willing to take it, is that right?
Yes, yeah, it's 100% dependent on volunteer availability.
So, but anyway, this is not up for a vote tonight. It's just an idea that I've been thinking about. And again, Richard and Jenny have probably do a little research on it. I want to know if the board has any thoughts about this or any direction you want to give us as to what your feelings are.
Yeah, I'd be open to exploring the idea. I think it'd be a great service we provide. As long as it didn't overlap with the fish, or we have to figure that out, because we've been.
I read what you-
For years and years.
Were you able to read what Karen gave? Because I read that there's vans that are handicapped equipped,
Yeah.
but they have to have like a family member or something going with them to escort them and get them into wherever they need to go
Yeah,
and service, so that
I think it's a good idea. We can do
that is something.
It would maybe be a good idea to have somebody from one of the townships that has the program and has several buses come in and maybe give us some type of presentation on it, so
That's
it's
a great idea.
better idea as to how they work it and
Or
what
we
the
could
pros and the
go
cons.
Yeah.
Or maybe, yeah, like I said, let's go field trip.
But you know, we probably could do that, because I've gone to Hanover Township and seen their buses and see what they're doing there, and it's pretty impressive. They have one employee who is just a dispatcher. That's what she does. She sits there and sends out these 10 buses to different places to pick up people. And it's quite a production rate, I think. So, and I got to see some of their buses too. They have a couple of Pace buses, and then I think they have other buses too. They weren't all in the garage at the time. Is anyone going to that presentation in Hanover on Thursday? That evening presentation? Okay. I was going to say that might be a time when we can go look at it. But I don't know if they're willing to come and talk to us. And it might be, better if we went out there and asked them to give us a tour out there.
Do they manage their own 10 buses then, and they service them, and they maintain them?
Oh, okay. They apparently do. They have.
So we have to have a place to park them,
Well, I mean, I think we could park it outside, probably.
and then we have to have drivers.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's a small undertaking. It's
large.
It's something that, you have to coordinate, you have to think about, you have to figure out, how we're going to hire someone. Like I'm saying though, quite a few other townships do provide this service. And it's something I was thinking we might do too, depending on demand and cost and so forth.
And then you had another option with Pace, that they
Rent. They rent buses to us.
rent them to us, we still have to provide them drivers.
Right.
So
I mean, that might be a place to start if, we decide we don't want to do it. Actually, all of us.
Would they have to have a special license to drive a bus?
I think they do. Yes.
And then insure them and everything else?
I think it's worth at least looking into.
Yeah, I think so.
First, they have to maintain a vehicle, is it?
Right.
Grant for it, yeah.
Well, I like that very much.
Another grant lady.
I think
I did look at for a grant, it's hard to find grants that cover salaries, that sometimes capital that you can get. I specifically looked at one that was related to transportation, but that particular grant, you couldn't apply to renting a vehicle, you had to buy it. I mean, there's all kinds of restrictions with grants, but if there was something available.
I think we should talk, my advice is talk to Niles. I'm not sure when they did their free bus system. There was something that they sponsored available to all the people in the community, young people and old people,
Right.
especially in light of the new development that's going to be on Golf Road, that teen center. So if we were to discuss a free bus potentially in Maine Township, have political ramifications for the township to help us, if we could get it not restricted to medical people, transportation for elderly people and kids who want to go to the teen center or other locations in the township. So,
Jim, wasn't that more for shopping though? It was a shop.
well, I forget who did, maybe Nicholas Blaze when he was the mayor, he sponsored that.
Shopping because of Golf Mill.
It was very successful, but
Yeah, they have 3 different routes, I think.
yeah, and it's, you know, and spending money for it, you know, it should be limited. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a free bus like that helps the community, so.
So you might be seeing something that would not be limited to seniors or
Absolutely,
disabled, but would
not
be
just medical needs, right?
to
Yeah.
all residents.
Right, exactly, especially people who want to shop, like Susan said, but also students and kids who want to, you know, go to events that are located in the township, high school events.
See something, we'd have to start small and
Yeah,
potentially
build
grow
our
from there, you know.
Very valuable potential in the township. Transportation.
All right, well, like I said, this was just our first discussion about it, and I'm sure we'll have more in the future.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, next I want to direct your attention to the upcoming events, which are on the next page. Of course, the opioid education event is tomorrow night, and then our International Festival is on Saturday out in the parking lot. So I hope you all can stop by. I'm going to suggest maybe you come by at 11 o'clock. I don't know if Senator Murphy's going to make it, but that was the time we last kicked around. So I will let you know if I have any update on that. Park Ridge Landmark Walk, our building is going to be open for people coming to view that. I don't expect really huge crowds, but that will be something on Sunday. And then Tuesdays are agency funding meeting, so we'll be back here pretty soon. Well, and the other ones you can just read up, blood drive, rabies vaccination, crop walk, and so forth. So put those on your calendar if you haven't already, please. All right, now I'd like to turn to official reports. Assessor Craig, would you like to report anything?
I did put a report with the packet of what we've been doing, but also today I went at 7 in the morning to a symposium in Naperville. It was very, I'm going to get the PowerPoints on it because I think it would have a lot to do with what we have in the township besides the assessor with the board of review and PTAB and the assessor. I also had FOIA. Some good information on that too, so I'll bring that when I get that from the IPAI. And looking forward to our International Day on the 30th. And I'm going tomorrow night, I'm going to opioid. Marty Cook is having, it's tomorrow night.
Mainstay and Public Connection are putting it
6:30, I believe. 6:30? Nick, do you know 6:30?
I believe it starts at 6.
Starts at 6.
I just wanted to say that our annual projects are wrapping up. They should be done by this Friday. So all of our roads and drainage projects will be completed by either this Friday or maybe into early next week. So that's good news. Not like the Kennedy, which is a continuous project. Yeah, that too. Otherwise, I will see everybody tomorrow and on Saturday. Thank you.
Yeah, nothing to add on my end other than I'm looking forward to being there on Saturday as well. Looks like it's going to be a nice day. So.
Great, yeah, that's wonderful. I'll just move on down here.
I had the pleasure of attending the garage sale which was a huge success again. Thank you, Rich, Maine's Day, all the volunteers. It was a perfect day for a garage sale. It was beautiful weather and everybody seemed to be enjoying themselves, lots of good bargains, I guess. And I'm looking forward to attending the opioid event tomorrow night and also the international event on Saturday. Oh, and just a reminder that we have the neighborhood watch meeting next Wednesday, October 4th at 7 o'clock. So anybody in the community is welcome. We hope you attend. Thank you.
Actually, speaking about the garage sale, I work at the Lincolnwood Public Library, and one of the board members the other day stopped me, and she didn't know I was a trustee out here, and she said, I went to the garage sale, and it was fabulous. She's like, I go every year, this is, she's like, she was very excited about it, so she comes all the way from Lincolnwood to the garage sale, so she raved about it. And if anybody's looking for anything fun to do this weekend, in addition to our International Fest, Mandy's High School is doing their fall play production. It's going to be Looking Glass Alice, which is based on the first two Alice in Wonderland books. And it's going to be like a Cirque du Soleil sort of theme. Like the kids have actually been getting real circus training from a circus school in Evanston. And my son is going to be the White Rabbit, and he's going to be suspended from the ceiling very high up.
And just exclusive and daughter too.
Oh, yes, yes. So they're doing 6 shows Thursday through Sunday, so you can go to the website to get tickets. It's going to be really scary and cool. Yeah.
Jim?
Just congratulations to Nick, especially Nick, but also Karen for your efforts on that depository. I think that's going to be a magnificent improvement from what I've been told about the improvement in our stock and what we offer to the public. So that's a great, great thing that you created, Nick, with Karen's help. And so congratulations again. And, Karen and I had the opportunity to go to a Niles event. So I would encourage anybody who's in the area of golf in Milwaukee Avenue by Golf Mill Shopping Center and check out the new developments they're going to have there. I saw a picture of it. It's going to be beautiful. I mean, there's going to be shops there, there's going to be luxury apartments there, places to a park, a water park with water. It's just going to be magnificent looking from what I've seen. So I would encourage everybody to take advantage of that and take a look at what's going on over there, Golf Mill Corridor, golf in Milwaukee. It's going to be magnificent once it's done, and it'll be enjoyable for everybody. Thank you.
Jim, you want to mention that you attended the Chicago Police Department presentation too?
Oh, yes. Karen and I also attended that because our security obviously is a concern for our employees. We saw a great presentation in the middle of the day. I got to see the 11 a.m. These gentlemen were great on improvements that we can make. Some of them were like ingenious, like putting a sleeve over the door makes the...
Yes.
Well, one of the things he had was anyway, it's great.
But we attended it, and they had a nice presentation that they gave.
Yes, it was excellent. So we're moving on that. We saw a presentation on that.
Okay.
Before I even interrupted, okay, that's all I have to say, sorry.
All right. Anyone else want to say anything? To do something else there?
I just had one other thing I forgot to announce. So the highway department, we've posted recently, we are looking to hire, so if anybody has a qualified person that would be interested in being a laborer, who has a CDL, have them send their resume over to the highway department. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, that appears to be the only thing on our agenda now before our executive session. I don't anticipate that we'll take any official action after the executive session, just for your information, but we will be going into that executive session if we move to do so. So I am going to ask for a motion of going into executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation, which is probably imminent, and security procedures, and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual threat or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property. So do I have such a motion to go into executive session?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
Okay. We have a roll call?
Supervisor Benton?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Macher?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll go into executive session now. Okay, we are back from our executive session, and we are back in open session. I don't know if anyone else wants to come in, but since I get it. So I don't believe there are any motions that anyone wants to make, is that correct? No motions? Correct. All right, except for your motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call?
Supervisor Diamond? Yes. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Mock?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.